Your Weather Authority forecast with Josh Rugger, certified most accurate by Weather Rate.
The jury starts the day across northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. We're kicking things off with a look at Heil Heating Cooling Mega Dopplers. Some light drizzle moving through portions of northwest Arkansas, especially along I-49, and starting to become a little bit more widespread along and south of Interstate 40 as well. Again, none of this is very heavy, but it can cause some slick spots on the roadways, especially if it mixes with that oil. So make sure you're taking it nice and easy. You can see some pockets of drizzle along Highway 412 and around Springdale and Fayetteville. A little bit more widespread in the River Valley now, especially along Highway 64 in Franklin County. That's moving towards Johnson and Logan County in and around Clarksville. So take it nice and easy if you're traveling eastbound or westbound along Interstate 40. But a lot of cloud cover in place and a whole lot of fog that's starting to develop, especially in far eastern portions of our weather coverage area. Again, we do have a dense fog advisory in effect for these locations, including Boone, Newton, Johnson, Logan, and Scott County until 10 a.m. this morning. So still got about 3 more hours of this dense fog advisory for these locations. And while portions of northwest Arkansas and the River Valley are not under a dense fog advisory, as you can see, it's pretty widespread right now. Now, far northwestern Arkansas, visibilities are not too bad. 3 miles in Bentonville, 1.7 miles in Grove, Oklahoma. But the farther east you go, the more likely you are to run into that dense fog. You can see visibility is reduced to less than 1/4 mile in Harrison, 0.8 mile in Fayetteville, and 1 mile along and south of Interstate 40 in Fort Smith. But there's a foggy scene over our Mount Sequoia WeatherBug Network camera in Fayetteville. Very similar story over that Posey Mountain camera in Garfield. Thankfully, temperatures right now are mild for this time of year. 48 degrees in Fayetteville, 42 in Harrison, 47 in Clarksville, and 49 degrees in Fort Smith, just a touch after 7 o'clock a.m. And in general, this afternoon will be much warmer than what we saw yesterday, but very gloomy as well. A lot of cloud cover expected. High temperatures topping out in the middle to upper 60s in the River Valley. Will hold on to a 20% chance of drizzle as well. So just make sure you're aware of that as you're heading back home from work and school. It's all because of the stationary front, which is currently draped over southern Arkansas and northern Louisiana. This is going to be lifting back to the north, which is why those temperatures are going to be a little bit warmer as we move throughout the next couple of days. We're certainly in a battleground zone kind of weather pattern. We've got this zonal flow over the midsection of the country, a lot of cold air that's filtered into the Pacific Northwest, and this will eventually spill south as we move towards the early part of next week. Now, the extent of that cold air is still in question. Remember, over the last few days, this air mass was as far south as northern Texas and northern Louisiana. Now the models are starting to back off just a little bit on the extent of that cold air. So northwest Arkansas and the River Valley will still be much colder next week. But the question is, when those storm systems move to the area, how much precipitation are we going to get? We'll hold on to those light rain chances for the rest of this week. Obviously, temperatures will be above freezing, so don't have to worry about any winter weather. But notice as we move towards Sunday, Monday, and especially on Tuesday, this system that moves to the area will be close enough to that cold air that we could eke out a few snowflakes. Again, a lot of time for things to change. And if that cold air shifts about 50 to 100 miles to the south, we could be talking about significant winter weather in northwest Arkansas. So nothing set in stone right now. Just make sure you enjoy the mild weather while it lasts. Highs generally going to be in the upper 60s to lower 70s through Saturday. 20% chance of precipitation in the forecast. Check out Saturday night. Temperatures in the upper 20s after enjoying highs in the lower 70s. Of course, we have to get back into those cold vibes. Of course, as we move throughout the early part of next week, high temperatures will stay steady into the lower to middle 40s. River Valley highs in the lower to middle 70s over the next couple of days. Middle 60s on Friday, middle 70s on Saturday, before temperatures drop off into the upper 40s to right around 50 degrees for the early part of next week. So, whole lot of things going on in the weather world, Jack. You also got a lot of great stuff going on in northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. I'm going to send things over to you with our very special guest in studio this morning.
Thanks so much, Josh. And you are correct. We do have some wonderful